I'm Devon.
I'm Dan.
And today we have a very special episode because I refused to watch season 2 of the stupid Dota show, but Dan watched it and now he's going to tell me about it.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked because I was like, I thought we had a good time with book 1, and you were like, no, I'm not watching it.
I didn't like book 1.
All right, fair enough. I thought we both agreed the Invoker storyline was pretty good.
I thought, why is my memory so different than yours? I thought that I hated the animation style and that it was boring and that it was a slog to get through and that the voice acting was bad and I couldn't wait for it to be over, and I wished that I could watch it in twice the speed that it was so that it would go by faster. That's what I remember about book 1 or season 1.
I feel like you've conflated it with another show that you just hated.
No, I'm pretty sure I hated it.
All right, fair enough.
Well,
I didn't.
Now I'm questioning. Maybe I should go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to watch the season again. I remember it being terrible.
Fair enough. No, I think you were down on like 2 of the 3 storylines, which didn't help.
Yeah, I remember watching it, and with Peter and Tony were like in the house at the time, and they're like, "What are you watching?" And I'm like, "Misery, this is terrible." But you enjoyed it, right?
Yeah.
Enough to watch season 2.
Exactly, enough to watch season 2. Plus, as noted, and I've done an episode or 2 about it, I do enjoy the game of Dota.
That's true. You have the edge on me there.
Yeah. Interested in the lore, and like I was saying previously about the book 1 was that it was like they're kind of spinning their own stuff. So it was like, even if you didn't watch or play the game or was unfamiliar with the lore, you could watch this show because it wasn't like so specific that it was like this character, they're introducing different elements and stuff like that. And that continues into book 2 because they introduced the Helios Empire, which I assume is referenced with a couple of the heroes, but it was, it's not like a place you see in the game because you only see the same map. So.
Yeah, aside from watching book 1, which I have no memory of except that I didn't like it, the only knowledge I have of the Dota world is what I get from you secondhand.
Sure.
Which is a lot of words I don't quite understand, but you seem excited, so I am encouraging.
Fair enough. Yeah, haven't I ever shown you like a TI match? Maybe when you came over when TI was on.
Yeah, but if you don't know how to play the game, it just looks like a lot of colors.
It definitely can get chaotic.
I think there's a player named like Cloud or Dream or something that you really like, who's from Vancouver, and he plays for Liquid. Is that a team?
It is a team, yes. But he no longer plays for. He was playing for EG for a while.
Oh.
Yeah. But
what's his name?
Arteezy.
I was not even close.
No, well, and then there was another guy, Aoi 2000. He also was from the area.
Is there a player that you've talked about named like Cloud, or is that just the Final Fantasy VII guy?
It could be both.
It could be both.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, I guess, like I said, I was going to tell you a bit about book 2 because I watched it. And I was kind of surprised by it because, over the entire 8-episode arc, I guess, it's like it ended, but it's still open if it's popular enough to continue doing more. But I was kind of shocked at how it ended, personally. We'll start here that it was developed by Ashley Edward Miller, voice cast. Sorry, we have a lot of returning actors, and I thought the voice cast was pretty good. I think there is some weakness here and there, but then you got guys like Tony Todd and Troy Baker and, stepping up the game, doing pretty good. And the woman who does Lena was pretty decent, Victoria Atkin.
In retrospect, when I say that the voice acting was bad, it might have just been that the writing was really bad.
Sure.
And I'm like, these people are saying stupid things, therefore they're bad.
Well, and it was kind of odd even to me as well that it's like there was no consistent aesthetic where it's like they're saying like modern curse words, but it's like, is it supposed to be old-timey fantasy world? Like, what's the deal, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's like, are they just trying to, make sure they appeal to their audience? Because otherwise they should be speaking half Russian anyway.
Nice.
Yeah. But so yeah, like I know that kind of also is a little odd with it, but we continue straight off of the end of the other one where
Before
Marana.
you get into the plot,
Sure.
can I tell you what I remember from the first one to
Okay.
get people up to speed?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's like two main storylines. One is a dude who can turn into a dragon when he's mad, but not on purpose, I think.
Yeah, Davian is joined souls with Slyrak.
Right. And then there's a lady that can shoot arrows into the moon and then arrows rain down. And she has pink flowers that are important. And she has a sidekick that is very cool.
Marcy.
A dude in like a casino or something does something to her at one point. Tries to kill her, maybe.
Yeah, well, they capture her. There's like a bounty on Marana that we learn through the show.
Right. And then, so that's one storyline. And then the second storyline is about an elven polycule that finds an invisible tower. And then there's a guy that does bubbles in space. He kills someone eventually. He's the bad guy. Or the good guy.
He's kind of out for his own. He's not really good or bad. He's just sort of doing his thing. That's Invoker, like you were saying. And then he makes a deal with Terrorblade in order to get revenge on Salamene.
Yeah. Oh, cause she has the werewolves?
Well, she had a child with Invoker and then didn't help her when she was dying of like, cancer or disease anyway.
Yeah, she's a goddess, but doesn't she have like werewolves that worship her?
So, well, yeah, it's like night creatures and, because she's like the dark moon goddess, essentially.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we're up to speed. Now you can go ahead.
Sure. Well, and like I was saying earlier, it picks up right away after the events of the end of the first season, and Davian is captured, and Marana and Luna are on the run, and they're being harassed by the elves. This was something that was really weird to me, is that the guy who captures Davian, veteran guy with the scar who's all like anti-dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the real distinct impression that he's like he's like, oh no, we should help Davian and try to like separate him and all this stuff. And I was like, wait, you just don't want to like murder him or anything? Like it seemed your whole intent the whole time was like, he's going down. And then now you're like, we should help him out. So that was kind of odd to me. Because then when they get to the dragon hold, there's like the old master guy and he's a little infirm. Like I think he's got one kind of messed up arm and he's an old man. And then he starts to do experiments on Davian where he like, cuts into him and harvests organs. And because of his dragon powers, he regenerates, right? So it's horrifying.
Ooh, that's no good.
Yeah, as any world with magical healing would be and torture.
Fair.
Yeah. But we get a little bit of flash with Invoker where Terrorblade's like, hey, you promised me dragon souls. Where are they? And Invoker's like, yeah, I promised them to you, but I didn't promise them to you. Like, there was no timeline. He's like, I'll have to give them to you someday. And Terrorblade
gotta be real specific when you're making a deal with the devil.
Absolutely. So yeah, he gives him some threatening words where he's all like, rah, 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 kind of thing. But I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, oh, way to go, Terrorblade, you screwed up. The elf that you were talking about, Frimrin, that's the one. She follows Davian because she's got her stealth powers, and she kind of visits him in the prison. And is like, hey, I should try to help you out, and he's like, no, just get out of here. This is a bad scene. So not much happens really in that episode. But then in episode 2, the dragon hold, so the old man is there, and then he's like trying to figure out an experiment. He's basically trying to figure out how to co-opt Davian's healing powers so other people can use it, right? Because then he's like, Dragon Knights will be more powerful and etc., right?
Right.
Experiments on himself, and and because there's some Terrorblade kind of, hinting, and he's like, hey, do it kind of thing. So he does. It goes wrong. Oh,
what?
No one saw it coming. Yeah. It goes horribly wrong, and then he kind of goes down, and then he's trying to kill Davian. Fimrin helps Davian escape, and then at the same time, Dragonhold gets attacked by like a massive swarm of dragons. It's like Starship Troopers, but it's dragons.
Oh shit.
Yeah. There's just tons of dragons coming out of nowhere, coming from the earth. Tons of the Dragon Knights all die.
Oh geez.
The lightning ones show up. There's like the one boastful Dragon Knight who's like, Lord guy, supposedly good. He gets just torn down. And then Davian's squire picks up his sword and then like has to fight and stuff like that. So yes, there was actually some good action animation in this one. Then Davian, transforms with Sladerak, goes on the offensive, to help the friends get away. And they escape on what we learn is Winter Riven, but it just kind of shows up like, they're like, hey, we know what's going on. We'll help you out.
Sorry, what did they escape on?
So another dragon who turns out
to
be, it's one of the heroes from the game, Winter Wyvern.
Gotcha.
So Winter Dragon. And then Marana and Luna, they're like, man, our troops are kind of, we're being harassed. We're not going to make it kind of thing. Marana does like this solo attack using all her arrow powers, like you were mentioning, so that Luna and the troops can, make it through this valley. And they get to like a fort, and they're like, yeah, we can rest up here. And immediately when like the fort shows up, it's like, immediately you're like, this is a trap. Like, what are you doing? And then, they all get drugged and captured.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
They don't read enough fantasy.
Yeah, they're clearly, they were being harassed and they're all, injured and, but you're like, this is a trap, But Marana gets put into one cage, and then Marcy and Luna and the rest, they got separated essentially.
Yeah.
So Davian and them, they go and they chill out with Winter Riven and Crystal Maiden, who's another hero from the game.
I remember you talking about Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, she's ice sorceress.
Ooh.
And, they do some. There's some learning. There's world crystal kind of stuff, and Bran gets some good scenes with the Winter Riven. On the other side, Marana gets sent. Yeah, we find out because of course it was hinted in book 1 that they're like, hey, your uncle put out this bounty on you because you're a princess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically, yes, she gets to the Helios Empire. Turns out she is the heiress of the empire. Her father was the emperor and her mother was the empress. They're dead now. Her uncle sits on the throne, and there's like, he's sort of like regent family friend guy. Like he helped raise her kind of a thing.
Okay.
Is also there. And the uncle guy's like, hey, we need you back because the empire is kind of in not shambles, but with you here, the people, will believe in us again and more. And he's like, if you marry me, everything will be all legit kind of thing.
Marry her uncle?
Yes, I believe.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Sure. She agrees.
You don't think that's gross?
It is gross. I'm not discounting the gross factor. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure it is her uncle. But again, maybe I'm wrong. But she agrees because she's like, okay, if I'm empress, I'll be able to use the army to fight the elves. Because she's basically like, hey, the elves are going to come get us now that Salamene is gone, and they're all in revenge mode. And no one believes her, of course. They're all like, what are you talking about, crazy lady?
They're like, you're a woman. You can't use your brain.
Yeah.
That's men's work.
Yeah. She goes to like a war council meeting, and the obvious person with like the most kind of influence in the war council is this other woman, head of like a house kind of thing. And she's like, well, they're mostly all my troops. And Marana's like, yeah, doesn't matter. You still serve the empire kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then she like kicks her off the war council and is like, okay, you're out.
Nice.
Yeah. And the advisor guy's like, well, she could be a powerful enemy and this and that. And she's like, I don't care. I just want these troops to go do this stuff, right? Like we gotta save people.
Gotta kill these elves.
Basically. Yeah, so everyone but Crystal Maiden stays in the Crystal Cave, let's say. They all go to Helios to go. There's something called the Eye of the World Worm, some kind of gem that can supposedly find him answers, like him and Slyrak kind of thing, that what they're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's, like, okay, all story points are converging now on Helios here. Then we get some flash to Celimene. She's a prisoner in Invoker's Tower.
Haha.
Yeah, and
it's you dumb bitch.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool. She has these like big like claw scars like on her forehead and like on the side of her face, like where Terrorblade kind of grabbed her.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then she's kind of just wandering the tower, and she's like talking to the Invoker, like, what's the deal? Like, why am I here? And he's just like, hey, you're a prisoner now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she reads like her daughter's journal, and she's like, oh, like you poisoned her against me, like it's full of hate. And he's like, no, she loved you, and that little doll, she loved that and thought it was you, kind of a thing. She's like, oh, really? This doll, eh? Yeah. Setting it up for later. Yeah, I don't remember, is it at the end of the previous episode or is the end of this one? Basically, I think it's the end of the last one. Marana is talking with like her. Oh no, I think it's the end of this one because Davian meets up with Marana, and then she like turns around to say something, and this big arrow comes in through the window, right through her chest, and she falls over.
What?
Yeah. And she starts to turn to like yellow crystal.
What?
Yeah. Around this time as well, Luna, she's in prison in the Helios Empire. She breaks out of prison, shocker, finds out about the assassination attempt, and so she's hunting the assassin as well, through standard Luna means. Like she goes to like Scuzzy Bar and then just starts beating people up for information.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's just like, all right, so who tried to kill the princess? Punch, kind of thing.
So she's not dead.
Well, so they didn't put out
crystal.
Yeah, like they didn't put out a thing saying she was killed, but they're also like, it's she basically just becomes the yellow crystal, but she's not dead.
Okay.
So this is also where they introduce Lena, who's one of my favorite characters in the game. She's Crystal Maiden's sister, and she's a fire sorceress.
Nice.
Yeah. So her and Davian kind of have a connection because her power comes from like fire dragons, and he's got the soul of Slyrak in him. So they're like, hey, this is cool. We're like friends and buddies. And then like it all kind of is blending together. But basically what happens is Davian's like, hey, I need to see this Eye of the World Worm. He petitions the Emperor, the uncle, and he's like, no, you can't see it. Like that's only emperors can even see it, kind of thing. Like citizens can't. Like no nobles see it. Only the Emperor. Okay. And then, like you said, he rages out, and this was one of my favorite bits: is that he just like rages out, kills the guards, grabs the Emperor, flies up through the window, and then like has a little bit of some words with him, and then just drops him.
Oh.
Yeah, like drops him onto this like big spire and just skewers him, and he's dead.
Cool.
Yeah. And then the town, of course, freaks out. And then Lena, she battles with Slyrak in this scene. And I really like the depiction in these scenes of like her powers and the dragon powers just like going at it. Because, there's huge fire blasts, and she's just like laying swaths of fire down streets and like lasering through buildings. And he's smashing stuff around. And like, they got guards on like giant eagles kind of situations, and he's just batting them aside and burning them. So it was pretty cool. Some good action there, and kind of unique because they can both fly. So they were both kind of using the 3D space well, and I liked that. It was pretty fun. Okay, so and then in the last kind of 3 episodes, lots of stuff happens here.
Okay,
so
I'm ready.
Yeah. So Marana heals herself from the crystal situation.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. She heals herself from the crystal situation. Marcy comes back as well, and we get a good flash of like when she was in the cart being carted away, she started like doing the high pitched whistle. I forget the name of the dog. Her cat shows up, like her.
Yay!
Yeah, her large riding cat comes up and then just tears through the people, and so Marcy escapes and comes back to Helios. And we get some flashbacks as well of Marana and Marcy when she first met her, and when they escaped from the time when her parents were killed and stuff like that, and so why she went into hiding in the forest with Salamene. There's some of that going on. Lena becomes the regent because she has like the will of the people, and she makes a good speech over that other woman who was trying to use like her influence, and she's like, no, this lady sucks. She's just buying her way. And Lena's like, you know me, I fight for you guys, for like the people in the army, and everyone's like, yeah. So she becomes the regent, but yeah, there's some schemes. It turns out she was the one who hired the assassin to attack Marana.
What?
Yeah. And basically she had... Yeah.
Treachery!
I thought for a long time until it was like, until the scene coming up, and I was like, oh, I assumed it was the other woman and it was like framing Lena, because I was like, that makes perfect sense, right? Like, but then Davian confronts Lena and she's like, no, I did it. And she was trying to do, it was like the classic, like, the nobles are screwing us over. They all suck.
Oh, yeah. Eat the rich. Okay.
Yeah, basically. She's like, they all suck. So I was doing this so that, I could be on the throne and could help people, right? Like, and forget the nobles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that.
Cool.
Yeah. And then we also flash to the tower where Frimrin's back there. Because basically there's some reveals here and there, in that Invoker wants Fimrin, the elf, to take up Mene's power and become the new moon goddess.
Oh, shit. That's a big ask.
Yeah, and she's reluctant about it, and she's not sure. And because she's like, I don't know, like I'll be perpetuating violence, because she's witnessed elf attacks and humans attacks at this point as well. And she's kind of like wandering the castle, and she bumps into Salamene and basically is like, yeah, you kind of sucked, but like people did love you. And she brings her outside and she's like, here's your daughter's grave and this and that. But then that was a big mistake.
Uh-oh. Because
the moon's there and she has the doll with her and she draws the power from that and becomes the moon goddess again.
Shit.
Yep, basically. Kind of around this all the same time. So the vizier, like I was saying, like family friend guy.
Yeah.
There's some kind of, he's been acting sketchy, and Davian like tells Marana, it's like, he didn't even try to stop me when I assassinated your uncle. Like, he just stood there. And she's kind of like suspicious of him. And then it turns out there's some reveals, and there's a big CG dragon that he becomes, and that he's a void dragon. And
a what?
Basically he was like a dragon of like a lesser type. And then he learned to like, instead of harnessing like radiant or dire power, he's kind of harnessing the power in the middle, the power of the void.
Oh.
So yeah, he becomes a big CG dragon.
Cool.
And then starts like just Gojiraing on the city, basically.
Why at that point in time?
Yeah, exactly. Also, I was also like, okay, they found you out, like Marana finds out, and, she's like, hey, this is bad. You've been influencing our empire in a bad way. Davian's like, yeah, this is a bad situation. And Slyrak agrees. And so Slyrak basically manifests fully to fight the big void dragon. Winter Wyvern fights the dragon. That old dragon knight, the veteran guy, he shows up. And then him and Slyrak are like, hey, truce while we fight this void dragon. So everybody's fighting the void dragon.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that like partway through the fight, that there's some winning, some losing, some big powers and stuff like that. He finds that woman with the army, and he's like, hey, I'm the vizier guy, and I command you to like capture Marana, kill everyone else, and serve the empire. And she's like, okay. I was like, what? So she's down with the void dragon.
So she's like, this is stuff I wanted to do anyways, but now I can say it's because you told me to.
Yeah, basically. But then Luna and Marana had hired gathered some loyalist troops so they can fight their way to the world worm eye, because it turns out, or it's in the middle of the city, and when they get there, turns out the big gem isn't the world eye, or the eye of the world worm. It's actually a power that has passed through the Emperor's line, aka Marana is actually the world eye.
What?
Yeah. So there's confrontation. Marcy gets captured and is like getting energy tentacled, like contorted, and then dies.
No.
Yeah. I was also.
I liked Marcy.
She was great. Oh yeah, Lena dies in this fight as well at some point. Yeah, Marcy gets killed, and Marana, in her grief, like manifests the Helios eye power, smashes the dragon with that. They beat the dragon. The day is won, but Marcy is still dead.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I know.
Marcy's the best character.
I agree. She was great. I couldn't believe it because they do classic after she's cradling her and she's crying and she's like, no, Marcy, you can't be dead, kind of a thing. And nope, she's definitely dead.
Nope, she's dead.
She's dead. Well, and because like I said, Lena's dead, Marcy's dead. Slyrak also disconnects his soul from Davian, and Davian's like healed now.
Okay.
And I was like, what? Okay.
The show ends. Do you think this is like a situation where it's like, it's a miracle we got a second season? Let's just tidy this up.
Well, and that's what I was saying a little bit in the beginning, that it's like, okay, it's sort of open enough because the Salamene thing isn't resolved, right? Like she just became the moon goddess again. Terrorblade's still out there. Is the Mene thing going to happen? We don't know. But also, Marana's going to become empress and Davian's healed. So, sure. It's like it's sort of wrapped,
Cool.
Yeah, it just kind of ends on that kind of a note. Like I said, Slyrak's gone, Void Dragon's dead, some characters are dead, but Marana and Davian are okay.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I like I said, I was also I had the same reaction. I was like, interesting kind of a thing, right? Like, yeah, the Winter Wyvern, she also dies.
Oh.
Yeah, no, she had some fun stuff with Bran, because like they kind of have a lot of scenes together, and she gives him like this shield ring, and then like jokingly says how they're mated pair now, and he's like, you're a dragon, but then she turns into like elf type woman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They bang?
No, they don't bang because she dies.
Oh.
Yeah. She more is like, well, that was actually a joke. I was just messing with you. Because she's like, she was a dragon at the time, and he's just like, yeah, okay, totally. I don't want to die. Right. Yeah. That was the season 2. Like I said, it kind of ended on a weird note in that it could be over.
How many episodes were there?
There was 8 episodes again, so it's been 16 in total.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd be curious to see if they're going to do another season.
That's also what I'm quite curious about.
Not because I want to watch it, just because I'm curious.
Yeah, fair enough. It'd almost be kind of neat if they wanted to do another season, kind of like I think I mentioned a little bit in book 1, is that they could then focus on like new characters or different kind of story. Like, because like I was saying, there's none of the like the Naga Siren and the fish people and the Medusa, like that. There's like a whole other kind of, not faction, but like, other world that they haven't really gone into, right?
That would be cool.
Yeah, so like they could always do that, just pick up another story in the same world.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it was an odd ending. I'm not like, I wasn't thrilled, but I did enjoy them. And like I said, there was some cool action here and there. And I thought there was some good use of like animation to CG and vice versa, with some good colorization. And the Void Dragon, like he was this, weird black purple the whole time. And then like his powers are like classic, like Final Fantasy type stuff, where it's just like be a, beam into the sky, and then like a big like white dome appears, and then everything's just gone, kind of thing, right? Like just like classic, Bahamut style attacks, where it's just like everything's dead.
Nice planet you've got here. It'd be a shame if somebody exploded it.
Yeah. The funniest though is that like the veteran Dragon Knight guy, because all the Dragon Knights we've seen, well, not all of them, but many, when they get hit by a dragon, they're pretty much like goners. But he's, fancied up with his armor, and he's like able to kind of almost jump around like rocket boot style. But
Nice.
it's magical, of course. But he gets smacked by the void dragon like a few times, like through buildings and everything, and he's just like gets back up, like jumps back into the fight. And I was like, wow, that's some good armor he's wearing. It's like your internal organs should be liquid at that point.
just a scratch.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He just like gets up, picks up the sword and just jumps back in.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
100%. He didn't say that, but that was definitely implied.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, that was Dragon's Blood 2. I don't think I'll say too much more really about it, but it's like, I don't know. I think it was 16 episodes. They were, it was worth a watch, and it was interesting. It was different. And I do still appreciate, like I said, is that even if you're not familiar with Dota, you could watch the show because it's not really about that. Like, it's just, it's using those elements in like some of the world, but it's not like about the Dota game. Yeah. They never showed up on an area where they're like, we have to defend this thing and these guys are attacking us. And then, they kind of did a scenario.
They never did like, cause isn't Dota where you pick your characters at the beginning?
Yeah.
So they don't start it with like picking the characters.
Like a hockey game, there's like 125 of them. And they're like, all right, I choose you.
They should just do a show about Dota players. I would watch that. Not them playing, just like their life.
they actually have. They've done. I think they call them. I think I want to say Dota Spotlight or something like that. But it's usually around TI, and they'll like follow a team or something. It's like documentary style, like you said, where they actually follow some players and kind of show them and etc. They're pretty good.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I'm sure they're on
Life's
YouTube.
Short.
Yeah, or not. Yeah. But yeah, no, they usually around TI they put something out in the last few anyway. They do that. That's
cool.
Yeah, it is kind of neat to just kind of trying to support the esports, as it were, I guess.
Esports.
Well, we're briefly on the topic. My only complaint, because I do enjoy the pro circuit, is that I wish at this point especially that they take some of the TI prize pool money and sprinkle that throughout the rest of the season for some of these other tournaments, because the prize pool for TI these days is quite large, 40 million or so. So
Holy
it's like,
shit.
Yeah, you could take 10 of that, let's say, or less, and sprinkle that to the other tournaments to increase their prize pools. So also as a fan, it would also be cool because then I know like I'm helping contribute to all the tournaments, not just the one. Anyway.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because I know a lot of the other tournaments do sell like, some items or a ticket, and that helps some of the prize pool, but it's usually the TI one is the one that everyone purchases. Like even I've bought it the last, 5 years or whatever, maybe 6 or something. Anyway.
Haven't you been to TI like live?
Yeah, I went to the one in Vancouver. It was pretty awesome.
Nice.
And I was supposed to go to the one in Seattle one year, but my friend got married that same weekend, so I had to cancel.
Oh, that jerk.
I know.
Wait, who was it? Was it me?
No. It was,
okay.
TI's in the summer, so it wasn't you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately I had to cancel. So
let's put them on blast.
No, it's fine. So I would have gone to 2 TIs, but I did go to the one, and I had a great time.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. That was it. That's Dota, Dragon Blood, Book 2. Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Fair enough. Like I said, for me, it was just there was some odd story stuff. Like I said, Buddy being all like, we should help him. And then I was like, wait, no, what? Aren't you just all about dragon murder? Like,
yeah, that is weird. That's a weird choice.
That was weird. The Marcy kill, I was like, whoa, why are you killing Marcy?
Yeah, Marcy's the best character, guys. You listened to our first fucking episode.
Yeah, like killing Lena, I was like, okay, it was like in defense of the realm after she revealed her betrayal. It made sense story-wise. I was like, okay, self-sacrifice, cool. But yeah, that one came out of nowhere for me. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I thought they made Marcy a character, like a playable character too.
She is a playable character now in the game. She's a lot of fun. I'm still really hoping that they'll make Fimrin a playable character, the elf girl.
Oh, she's not one?
She's not one, no.
What
because
would
they just
powers be?
Well, like I was saying in the first episode or first season one, she has like that duplication thing, like, so it's more like illusion powers because she does that duplication. In this episode, this season, she also does, like, invisibility stuff. She does some shape shifting. So, and she's got her blades. So yeah, I could think you could do something like that with like the replicating of herself to her escape and invisibility as well. You could do something with the blades where it's like, you get kind of a sneak attack on people or something, or they do more damage over time. Just something like that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Marcy actually in the game, when they put in Marcy, her ultimate is where she goes into like God mode basically, and then like has super fast attacks, right? Like, and on the fourth attack or the third, after X number of attacks, you do like a major attack and it has like this AoE effect. It's pretty cool. And in the show, when she fights the Void Dragon, she goes into that mode and then is just like tearing into him. And I was like, awesome.
Nice, that's right.
Yeah, because that wasn't introduced in book one. But yeah, they brought this in in book two, and I was like, nice. I would hope that maybe they would introduce her, but they didn't. In the next update, they introduced something else, the Primal Beast, I think they called it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it primal and beast-like?
I haven't looked into the details yet. I just kind of saw.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be the Dota expert.
I didn't. I should have looked it up. I'm sorry. I didn't think you'd care.
Yeah, you're fired from the show.
Available on Netflix. 16 episodes, streaming now.
Excellent. You recommend?
Yeah, like I said, I think I would. It's interesting. It's a little different. There is some flaws, as you have identified as well, and even I've identified as well. We don't get much of the Invoker storyline in this season, whereas that was the best one in season one. But in this one, it was pretty cool. I liked a lot of the stuff with the Empire and the Helios stuff. I mean, it's just some classic like fantasy Empire stuff.
Everybody likes that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would recommend it if you got some time and you want to look at something different.
Cool. I'm not gonna watch it.
Fair enough.
I'm too busy rewatching She-Ra for the 100th time.
Fair enough.
I guess I should wrap up then?
Sure.
Unless you have more? Do you have more?
No, I think, like I said, I've hit the things I want. I've highlighted the things I wanted to highlight. All
right. Well, thank you very much for telling us about book 2 of Dota, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
If you loved this episode, which, like, why wouldn't you? You should share it with all of your friends so we get all of the downloads, and then we can get sponsored by Casper Mattress, and I can get a new mattress.
I was to say, or the Athletic Green seems to be going around.
Oh yeah, the Athletic Green. What else? Some sort of VPN.
Definitely.
Maybe that, like, the thing that YouTubers hate now, BetterHelp.
I don't know. I didn't heard that one.
Online therapy.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
People get mad at it all the time, though, and I don't remember why.
Tried to help me. Forget that.
Fuck you.
Yeah. I clearly don't need help.
I think it was something in their terms of service, or I don't know.
Probably. They're probably selling your data or something.
Yeah, they're selling your mental illness.
Yeah.
To people who don't have any. Just like Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop talking now before I get into trouble. So follow us on Instagram, because that's the only social media we're on now. And also download this episode 100 times so we can get a Casper mattress. Check out our website, tomeofuselessness.com. If you have a request or you'd like to tell me why BetterHelp is bad, you can email us at tomeofuselessness@gmail.com. And we hope you have an excellent life, and we'll see you next time. Boop, boop, woo, woo.
Stay safe, and thanks for listening.
Bye.